ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शनतत्त्वविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं ॐ परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः श्रीवेदव्यास वैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः तेषां सर्वेषां गुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातुः अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः हैन्दवसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान समस्तविश्वव्याप्तिद्वारा विश्वशान्ति विश्वकल्याणार्थं तत्कृत समस्त साधक भक्त सेवक उपासक जिज्ञासु संस्थापकानां च समस्त शक्ति साधना संपदा सानुकूल्यता प्राप्ति द्वारा शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन दिव्य कार्य दिग्विजय प्राप्त्यर्थम श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणं श्रीयाद्य शंकराचार्य भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे आदौ पारायणम्. Yesterday we have done the first one conclusion. Let us do Dvitiya Brahmananda Valli up to the third one as we do every time. Om अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानंद वल्ली पारायणं शांति मंत्रः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेदनिहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सः ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरावः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणः पक्षः अयमुत्तरः पक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति अन्नाद्वै प्रजाः प्रजायन्ते याः काश्च पृथिवीगश्रिताः अथो अन्नेनैव जीवन्ते अथैनदपि यन्त्यन्ततः अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते सर्वं वै तेन्नमाप्नुवन्ति येन्नं ब्रह्मोपासते अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते। अन्नात् भूतानि जायन्ते जातान्यन्नेन वर्धन्ते अद्यतेत्ति च भूतानि तस्मादन्नं तदुच्यत इति। तस्माद्वा एतस्मादन्नरसमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा प्राणमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्राण एव शिरः व्यानो दक्षिणः पक्षः अपान उत्तरः पक्षः आकाश आत्मा पृथिवी पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवते प्राणं देवा अनुप्राणन्ते मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ते ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यत इति। तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् प्राणमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा मनोमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य यजुरेव शिरः ऋग्दक्षिणः पक्षः सामोत्तरः पक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वाङ्गिरसः पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ओम यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। येरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं। तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरचयिनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली षष्ठोऽनुवाकः। ॐ असन्नेव स भवति असद्ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद सन्तमेनं ततो विदुरिते। तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य अथातोऽनुप्रश्नाः उता विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चन गच्छति। आहो विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चित् समश्नुता शोकामयत बहुस्यां प्रजा ये येते सदवोतप्यत सदवस्तप्त्वा इदगं सर्वमसृजत यदिदं किञ्च तत्सृष्ट्वा तदेवानुप्राविशत तदनुप्रविश्य सच्चत्यच्चाभवत् निरुक्तं चानिरुक्तं च निलयनं चानिलयनं च विज्ञानं च विज्ञानं च सत्यं चानृतं च सत्यमभवत् यदिदं किञ्च तत्सत्यमित्याचक्षते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Salutations to Parabrahma Tattva, to all the Brahma Vidya Acharyas, Rishimuni Guru Devata Gana, Ishta Devagana, Upasya Devagana. Salutations to Shruti Mata. Welcome you all. We are just trying to open up our intellects to make them subtler through the understanding of Vedanta, through the Upanishad and Bhashyam. A very highly evolved, subtle intellected, pure hearted person will catch all these essences in one go. All of us, we are in our efforts to try to understand the Upanishads, we become subtler and deeper in our intellect. But what is wanted, required is our sincerity, our Shraddha, our wanting to know, do, develop, grow. When these wants are there, along with it, the purity of not having any doubt, not having any hesitation, not having any type of inhibitions while studying the Shastras. When these things are maintained and the efforts are put as we are seeing in our own case, our intellect is becoming little by little, not all of a sudden, but little by little subtle to catch what is being said, what is to be caught, what is to be done, and where to reach. May we all that way, day by day, grow in both our qualifications and our efforts and our achievements of understanding Upanishadic Brahma Vidya Siddhanta Rupena thoroughly thereafter through the Abhyas and Sadhana Anubhava Rupena the Upanishadukta Brahma Tattva. That is what is unambiguous, our sankalpa, our effort also. So, these are all very subtle, sublime, mystic talks or the topics. So, not just like that with a mind of worldliness that we are able to catch. Not because of so difficult the subject is, but because of our equipments, as we just now said. One, they are not qualified. Second, they are not willing. All the willingness of our equipments, especially the buddhi through the annamana prana, because it is medhaya pihitaha, covered by the outer worldliness. It is not finding the charm or interest fully required to ponder over the Upanishadic truths. Somehow, if that intellect gets into the groove of desiringly, willingly, wanting to thoroughly study, we are already studying, but wanting to thoroughly study, deeply inquire about what is said, definitely the Shruti Mata, Guru Parampara, the Lord will bless in giving us the clear understanding. We need to have clear understanding, we need to remember it, we need to do the sadhana mentioned there, and that sadhana should continue till we reach the goal which is indicated in the Upanishad, which is the indicated goal in all Shastras, which is the goal already reached by all the Siddha Purushas, Mahatmas, accept or not, which is the goal of every evolving living being. So, this second Brahmananda Valli, sixth Anuvaka, is so beautiful, so wonderful because of its detailed, most essential content. If you really browse through the main mantra with the background, little of Bhashya, because every sentence of the Bhashya we may not straight away remember, but the background of the Bhashya, I keep it and just to browse through this Upanishad 6th Anuvakam, you can catch what it is trying to say. This is how every Anuvaka's literal essential meaning and Bhashya Yukta deeper meaning, when you have it and are able to correlate with each of the paragraphs, and the entire thing is related with the total theme of the Upanishad called as Brahma Vidya. Our attempts to study Shastra are in a right direction. Repeatedly, when such things are done, our understandings truly become true, truly becomes correct, truly becomes complete. So no hesitations, no feelings, inferiorities that I cannot do or that everybody can do who is willing. Thus, increase the willingness, reduce the worries, anxieties about the worldliness थोड़ा सा योगक्षेमम वहाम्यहम, भगवान के लिए भी छोड़ दो. Free the mind, free the intellect. That freed mind intellect from the worldliness, may it be applied more and more towards this study. You and I, any one of us, when we do this, definitely the things start becoming clearer without doubt. So the first two lines are very obvious, nothing much to discuss. Asannevasa bhavati asat brahma iti veda chet. If he starts with the proposal that Brahman is not at all there, then not only he will not reach Brahman, but he will live life in such a manner that he is called as Asat Purusha by himself, others, and he will get only the Dushphala of the Asat Purusha. This is the meaning of the first sentence. The reason given by Bhashyakara is because he will become a Purushartha Sambandhi. Apurushartha Sambandhi in one line to say is what? Not only he will not live life according to the Shastra, but totally he will live life according to exactly opposite of the Shastra, contradictory to the Shastra. And the Shastra, step by step, is the giver of liberation. Opposite to Shastra way of life is step by step the falling down to the bondage level. Keeping all that in mind only, asannevasa bhavati is said for that person who thinks that asad brahma. Second portion is asti brahmeti chet veda. If he starts with asti brahma, and if he is asti, then where and how to find him? These inquiries he continues and finds a correct guru, gets taught by him, studies himself thoroughly, contemplates, understands, deeply meditates, then santamenam tataha viduhu. Not only he will have the experience himself that he is the self, all the realized saints also acknowledge his achievement and they tell to the public he is realized now. You can bank upon him for the guidance. That's the meaning of Enam Santaha Viduhu. He is known as the saint now. So, preceded by that, what? The Mahatmas explain that or tell that, certify that he is. Before that, he himself experiences. Asti Brahmeti Chedveda Enam Santamiti Vidhu. So, in simple words to say, in our layman's language, adding the devotional touch also, the one who believes in God and tries to reach to God, and in that process tries to do what God says, not otherwise. That person's behavior is so good for the world. Therefore, the world will call him as Satpurusha, Santamenam Tatavidu. And it is so obvious in the world, we can see generally. Astikas are respected and revered. Nastikas are not so much. Those Nastikas, if they are not bad and acting with absolute selfishness, whether they study the Shastra or not, then they are also okay. But generally, the one who is saying the Lord is there, who is wanting to see the Lord, who is following the injunctions given by the Lord through the scripture, because of his antakarana becoming beautified, purified, in which he only lives, works for totality outside. Inside, without any impurity, he is only seeking the self. His heart is so wonderful, his character is so beautiful, his expression outside is so excellent it is that he will be claimed by others as santam. See, Upanishad we are trying to understand in our way after understanding through the Bhashyam. Now remember, you want to become Asat or you want to be called as Sat. Then you have to believe in the Brahman as Asti. Asti Brahmeti Chetveda. And we are not leaving you halfway by only forcing you to have the faith in the Astitva of the Brahman. We are going to give all logical explanations and quotations, holding on to which you can experience that Brahman, in fact, as your own self and as everything else. Those are all processes are there. You have to learn them, you have to follow. Okay, so this Brahman is the Pucham Pratishta of the Anandamaya Kosha. And this Anandamaya Kosha is the Atma of the Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is what is the next sentence. Asti Brahmeti Chet Veda Santamenam Tato Vidrutihi Tasya Esha Sharira Atma. So, tasya vijnanamayasya yeshaha anandamayah yasya brahma pucham pratishtha asti yeshaha anandamayah tasya shariraha means sharire bhava means which is fully permeated in the vijnanamaya kosha. So, sharira is vijnanamaya, shariri is anandamaya. Like earlier also, sharira was manomaya, shariri. Shariri means the one who is permeating in the sharira was Vijnanamaya. So that is the meaning of Tasyesha Eva Sharira Atma Yaha Purvasya. So Yaha Saha Purvasya Yeshaha Sharira Atma. Of the earlier kosha called Vijnanamaya, he is inside and as an Atma to Vijnanamaya. How is an Atma to Vijnanamaya? Because in the Vijnanamaya kosha, the Karta does whatever he does only for the Ananda of the Anandamaya kosha. Nobody does anything to become miserable. Everybody does everything only to be happy. And the doer is in Vijnanamaya Kosha. He does it with the help of the Manomaya, Pranamaya, Annamaya, Indriyamaya, etc. That is what actually you and I are. Then Asanneva Bhavati Asad Brahmeti Cheta Chetveda Santamenam. Having heard this, the disciples in front of the Guru, the they had a question. What is that? Atha atha anuprashnaha. The prashna is what? Uta vidwan amum lokam pretya kaschana gacchati. Aho vidwan amum lokam pretya kaschit samashnuta. Means amum lokam pretya means going beyond the present living style of taking the world as real of names and forms, living in the world with Annaprana Mana as the predominant things. Of course, even Vijnanmaya also supporting them, rising above this common lifestyle. If we follow the Upanishadic life, do we reach somewhere? Where do we reach? Is there something substantial first of all? Is it there? Do we reach it? And can it be experienced? Okay, is it there? Do we reach it? Can we experience it? There is a load behind this sentence ki uta vidwan uta avidwan amum lokam pretya kaschana gacchati. Then aho vidwan amum lokam pretya kaschit samashnudha. Oh, that was explained to us by the Bhashyakara in the form of three questions. Before that, avidwan amum lokam pretya kashchana gacchati. The answer is earlier only given. Amum lokam pretya, having gone from this world, that avidwan, because he has not followed the Vaidika marga, he will only definitely go to the lower worlds. There is no doubt at all. Okay, but after that is being spoken, even नास्तिक को भी समझा बुझाकर आस्तिकता में लाने के प्रयत्न में these three things are put up as three questions. One is अस्ति वा न अस्ति वा. Second, गच्छति वा न गच्छति वा. Third one, samashnute va na samashnute. For that, then Asti Brahma is so beautifully, detailedly Bhashyakara has explained. Taking the tasmadva tasmad akasha atmana akasha sambhuta say so many logics inquiries were done to finally come to the intellectual conviction about Brahman Asti. The way of discussion was what? Do you see Akasha Adi? Yes. Do you see it in Astitva Rupa, Nasti Rupa, Asti Rupa? Then what is the cause of it is said in the Shruti Mata? It is the Atmana Akasha Sambhuta. Then, if the effect Akashadi are there seen, how can the cause be not seen or non existent? If the cause is non existent, then effect also should be non existent only. But you are seeing it. So, in this way, using 3, 4, 5 logics, again, I don't know to repeat it. Again, it will become a repetition like our 10th Skandam Bhagavatam. So, today just thought of browsing through the main Anuvakam itself and conclude the last few portions. So, like this, so many beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 logics were given, then Asti was established. Why all these struggles have come to discuss about the existence of the Brahman? Because Brahman being Nirveshesha, Nirakara, Nirvyavahara इत्यादि. जो भी आकार है सविशेष है सव्यवहार है यू कैन जस्ट इजीली टॉक अबाउट इट देयर बिकॉज किसी न किसी उपाधि से वो दिखता है इट कैन कम इनटू आवर एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू सम ऑफ द अदर उपाधि. Even a thought also can be seen in the mind. A concept can be seen in the intellect. And emotion can be felt in the mind. All perceptions are happening through the faculties. Everything is whatever there in this way it is perceived. But Parabrahman is asabdam asparsham arupam tata arasam agandhavachayat. So he is not Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, therefore not the Vishaya of the Indriyas. Is not a feeling, emotion, or thought, not the object of the mind. Is not a concept, therefore, not an object of intellect. Therefore, because we are familiar with the experience of the world which is seen through these, Brahman is not coming under any of these. There comes definitely a doubt, O Brahma hai ki nahi. So that through scriptural authority and intellectual inquiry, yukti, we have to come to understand that it is there and accept it. Even after accepting, still it is not perceived through any of these faculties, please. It is only to be experienced as the self. Okay. Then, aho idvan amum lokam pretya kaschit samashnuta u. Then, among so many discussions about efforts to establish Brahma, one of the very important thing Shruti Mata herself quoted was So Kamayata. Bhashyakara took the help of Shruti Mata and said, if Brahman is Nasti and also it is inert at all, hai bhi nahi, agar hai to inert hai, so how can it do the Kamana? Is it not? See, it is every Upanishad and Bhashyakara's Bhashya is the amalgamation of all other Upanishads also. We may not directly quote, but behind the heart, in the heart, behind the other Upanishads, some reference is kept to explain it. So, like in this Upanishad only, the seventh Anuvaka starts with that thought. Or in the Machandogyadi say, Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asito. Anyat Kinchana Mishato. So before the creation, Sad alone was there, Brahman. How it is, that is proved there. That proof we will not do here, but we take the help of that statement of that Upanishad. Therefore, before creation, what was there? Brahman is there, we have to accept. Therefore, from that, the Akasha, the Sambhavanam, we have to say. So, in the background, other Upanishadic Jnanam also is there to fill up the gap within any of the Upanishads explanation. Because हर चीज एक ही में लगाने से heavy हो जाता है. So, in the before creation, the Brahman alone was there. Okay. Then what we see now is creation. Therefore, the where from the creation has to come from the Brahman only because जो पहले था उसी से आना चाहिए. Now, in our general life, we see something is created preceded by the thought or desire of creation. Therefore, the desire is the womb from where the creation happens. Therefore, obviously, if you see creation, if Shastra says before creation Brahman is there, Therefore, from the Brahman, the creation has to come. But in general, the creation can happen only when there is sankalpa or the willingness called as kamana. Therefore, in this Upanishad, keeping all those background things back, sentence is made so kamayata. That kamana of him makes him a conscious, sentient entity. Because an unconscious, inert thing cannot do kamana. Therefore, so kamayata is become a source of a conviction that Brahman is there and asti and is chaitanya swarupa. He is not a jada swarupa. Jada hai to kamana nahi karta. No, why did came this question? While explaining the astitva of the Brahma in the logical explanations, Purva Pakshi's Prashna Siddhanti's answer, mud and pots example is taken. Never ever we see a mud becoming pot by its choice because it is inert. किसी एक बंदा कोई मड पॉट मेकर है वो बनाता है मड अपने आप नहीं बनता therefore because of an example brahman may be jada that question came anything jada again nashvara therefore so kamayata is brought from this only entire devotional subject gets developed that ऐसा प्रभु की इच्छा है परमात्मा की इच्छा है from this one word so कामयत भवस्याम the whole devotion का जो भी है इसके ऊपर आधारित है and it works when we go on saying the whole creation is by Lord everything happens only according to his will in the development of this thought when our surrender grows in that growth of surrender all our faculties get tuned to him because of that we do exactly what he prescribes to us therefore the results are spectacular or we transcend all and become qualified to know him that's how bhakti becomes a means for jnanam and moksha and again, all the big thesis we will not explain here to justify or all, but an idea is given, which is not relevant right now. But so kamayata, then bahosyam. Each of these are beautiful things. We have given good time to discuss. Toward the end, Bhashyakara is going to conclude with summarizing all these also. So through that study, we will see. So this portion I am skipping just to see it through the Bhashyam. So Kamayata, he desired, and what sort of is his desire? What the difference between his and our desire? Is his desire binding him like our desires bind us? That all we have seen. And we also saw logically what can be the desire of the one who is seeing manyness is to discover oneness that he expresses through the desire of indulging in that, embracing that, possessing that, involving in that. इन सब का मतलब दिल में दो को एक बनाने का ही इच्छा है. If that is the desire of you and I who see multiplicity, what can be the desire of the one who is one without second? Obviously, to become many. Therefore, bahusya. How do you become many? Because you have to become many with the condition that you should not change. Why? Because Ajara, Amara, Avyakta, Avyakruta is the explanation about Brahma Tattva in other Upanishads. And here also, here and there. So how do is possible then? That you may remain as it is and still you have to create. Therefore, Prajayeya. So that Prajayeya is I remain as myself, but from me only I produce. Again, is that a production is like the father son? This topic will come again in the seventh Anuvaka also. Is that production is no. That is where it is. The production here is not production like the father creating the son or children. It is the unmanifest Rupanama. That sentence is $1,000,000 sentence. What is that? The Atmastha Anabhivyakta Rupanama Abhivyakti Eva Srishtihi or creation. Prajayeya is this. This is the crux of everything. Which when clicks to intellect, what will first thing happen is he Rupanama as very real. Apart from Parabrahma, that strongest notion goes away. After that notion goes away, then we will be ready to and able to transcend Rupa Nama on the seat of Dhyana. The moment the form is transcended, that Paramatma who is formless but appeared as Parabrahma, that is realized. All our struggle is only this much. Parabrahma is formless, we are habituated to form. And the fact is, the form is supported by the formless Parabrahman only. It is our excessive, too much value, reality given to form because of the Vyavahara, because of the Asakti or desire and Bhoga, that we are inherently a fear. If you transcend from formful to formless, we may not get all these joys and happinesses or the desire fulfillment which we get through the forms. That unsaid, deep, inherent fear is the one which never allows us to accept that behind all the forms, the formless is there. But somehow, if we can understand it, this particular thing, that from the anabhivyakta atmasta abhivyakti namarupanam eva srushti, this becomes such a wonderful helping thing to reduce our too much attachment with the expressed do. If someone can understand this, that the expressed do grass world has no independent existence from the expressing subtle world or the subtle truth, and accordingly, when the gross's value is reduced, underline this point, the importance value given to stulata, to the rupa nama, when one is able to reduce, give up, then his intellect becomes subtle enough. Now, why the intellect is not becoming subtle to catch the subtle truth? Because it is lost in the accepting the gross alone as real, along with the fear that if the gross is given up, I may not have even sustenance also, survival also, existence also. Means to that extent, existing as a stula has become a habit to us. Whereas there is nothing called stula without सूक्ष्म. इस समझदारी के द्वारा ही हम एक बार ब्रेक थ्रू हमको मिल गया स्थूल से सूक्ष्म में, देर आफ्टर द स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी रियली स्टार्ट्स. Because spiritual discussion, spiritual sadhanas, all of them are nothing to do with the outer gross world. Outer gross world is only mithya and vyavaharik. That's it. All subtle only. Whether it is karma yoga, it is not outer action, it is inner subtle understanding. A bhakti yoga, it's not outer physical actions of offering this earth through the objects, etc., with the hands. Not the yoga, it is any outer thing like asanas, etc. Everything sukshma inside only. Therefore, once this breakthrough is achieved, subtle sadhanas will be able to do. Intellect will be able to understand the sukshma vishayas. That is why, as many times as possible, contemplate repeatedly on this thing. Atmastha anabhivyakta namarupanam abhivyaktihi eva bahusyam prajayeya. And the difference between the father giving birth to son and the Brahman giving birth to Rupanama is what? Once the father gave birth to son, son and father are always separate, apart. Father is not inside the son anymore. In fact, the son, as he grows, he wants to remove the father from the mind. He wants everything from the father, but not the father. Father, son, mother, daughter, लड़ाई तो देखते रहते हो हर दिन घर में. In case of Brahman, it is not so. Though the Nama Rupa are manifest out of him from the manifest, in and through that Nama Rupa, this Sad Vastu, the Brahma, pakad ke rakhta hai. He is there very much in them. Example was given, discussed. The waves are manifestation from the unmanifest state of theirs from the water within. Okay, in the ocean, in the water, all the waves are there unmanifest. Okay, they got manifested. Now, when they got manifested, in and through every wave, is the water there or not? It has to be. नहीं तो water wave होगा ही नहीं. So to the unmanifest, out of millions of ornaments, few ornaments, that is name and form, are manifest out of the gold. Many more ornaments in future generations, in future creations, the human beings may make manifest out of the gold. Who knows? That's is that not seen from the iron? Iron was not even known in the Stone Age, but the Iron Age came when it is discovered. From the iron, unmanifest things, so many millions of things, are they manifest or not today? Which is the industrial thing or where iron is not used? Iron or alloy or any one of them. So were they are not inside? They were there unmanifest. They manifested now. But in every manifestation of the iron, like the nail or any other, what do you call the steel for the sake of construction, the iron is very much there in it. Interesting, no? When the pot manifested as a Rupanama from the mud, mud is so much, very much inside that pot everywhere. This contemplation slowly, slowly makes us give up the importance given to the gross, then we start accepting the subtle. The moment gross is dropped, the joy of entering to subtleties